All right, Richard, well, I'm glad you're in. I'm glad you're now working with us and usually like what's next, okay, I'm in, this looks great. Right. I want to work with you. So this is what's next is we need, to explain to you the process.
Okay.
I want to be very clear with you so that later on you can never leave here and say, well, if Omar was only honest with me and would have let me know everything, then I would have won there. You know what I'm saying?
Correct.
So how we learn Primerica is in multiple steps, okay? Number one is you and I training with clients. So in your warm market, husbands, wives who have little ones that love each other, that work jobs.
Okay.
We don't want to visit unemployed, recently laid off, husband and wife are splitting up because they hate each other right now. Okay. We want husbands, wives, little kids, love each other, and work.
Okay.
That's where you're going to really learn the most.
Okay.
Then, number two, we're going to learn in weekly training. Okay, so every week in the office, and I'm going to write it here on Tuesday nights, we run training. Now, in all my years working here, I've never had anybody that was not a regular in training last.
Okay.
The easiest way to explain this is you went, to university and you graduated, right? What'd you graduate in again? Engineering. So what if there was a class every week that you missed? Would you flunk that class?
No, definitely.
Yeah, even if you're a genius, like if you're not there every week listening and you don't know what's on the exam, right? You're going to flunk the exam, right?
Yeah.
This is like that. We need you there every week on Tuesday nights. And then number three, licensing. We need you licensed. There's a class, it's one weekend, 11 hours, 11 hours. And then the next weekend, 11 hours, 11 hours. And while you're there, you're going to be like, oh my God, why am I here? This is such a long class. But it's one class. Once it's over with, you line up the exam and you're licensed. Okay, so really, if you look at this, right, number one, training with me out in the right market, husband, wife, little kids, own a home, love each other, weekly training, and licensing. We have that one class that you need to enroll in, and then you're a smart guy. Once you're there, if you listen to them, if you listen, to exactly what they want you to do, you will not flunk the exam. I mean, you will pass it. You're a smart guy. Okay, that's number one. Then, when we're out here training, you're going to learn a lot of things. Like number one, you're going to learn presentation. New recruits usually think, well, why do I need to line up training appointments? I'm not licensed yet. Well, the reason is when you are licensed, we want you to know what you're doing. Yeah. That you're licensed and you're not trained, you won't earn any money. And that's the reason you're in, is you want to earn extra money, right? So you're going to learn presentation, educational presentation. Then you're going to learn handling objections. You're going to be watching me. So all you're going to do is like listen, smile, and write notes down.
Gotcha.
And whenever you have questions, you don't interrupt me, you just write it down. When we leave, we'll review all your questions and I'll explain exactly what I did, why I did it, and any questions you have, we'll answer them. Okay? Number three, you're going to learn how to ask closing questions. Okay? Real easy closing question, as an example was if the client has an IRA account, right? We can say, listen, if we're able to review your IRA and we could bring you an investment with lower risk, longer track record, and greater rate, is there any logical reason you wouldn't want to move that over? It's just questions that they're going to nod yes to. The more closing questions we add, they'll be moving their head up and down like this, and it's very hard when you're moving like this to stop and move like that. You almost sprain your neck, okay? So closing questions. You're going to learn how to run the F&A. You're going to learn how to ask the questions. We're going to actually run the F&A together, you and I, and you're going to learn how it works, why it's so valuable. Like we already ran your F&A with your wife, and that's the reason you're working with us, right? I mean, you really love that, right?
Yes.
You're going to learn all the products. You're going to learn, because when we visit these clients, husbands, wives, little kids, love each other, own a home, right? they're going to need unique products, unique, to their needs. And so you're going to learn the products. You're going to learn how to close. You're going to learn how to recruit the client, okay? Because what we've learned is most clients have all their dreams that they want. They want to retire. They want to wipe out their loans, their little ones' education. They want proper life. They want everything. And they normally need about $1,000 a month extra.
Gotcha.
And so they either have to drive into work and say, hey, listen, this little round Cuban guy was over last night and he said, I need an extra $1,000 a month. And so after he laughs at you, right, and he says, no raise for you, what's your other option? Well, you come work with us.
That's true.
And, once you're licensed and trained and you work one evening a week and you really know what you're doing, an extra $1,000 a month is really not a lot of money to make. You can earn more than that. And then you're going to learn how to train the recruit, and you'll grow a business, right? So if you look at this, this is what you learn off this training appointments: presentation, handle objections, closing questions, run the F&A, the products, how to close, how to recruit them, how to train them. Here's the crazy part. These skills, all you do for years and years and years is you just keep doing it over and over and over again. And that's how you grow a business, is the more individuals that you could train on these items here, where they learn it without needing you now. Like, eventually you won't need me.
Correct.
Eventually, when I train you enough and you've watched it enough and you're properly licensed, you're going to venture out on your own.
Gotcha.
And you'll be recruiting your own recruits.
Gotcha.
Any questions on that?
No, so far so good.
Now, that's why that's number one.
Okay.
Most recruits that we, that join for whatever reason, they get nervous there. They don't want to make the calls. They're scared.
Yeah.
They don't, and the problem is then they can never learn the business. Then they quit, and then they go, Primerica doesn't work. And I would argue, no, you, the recruit, you didn't work.
Correct. I got
Okay.
you. I got you.
So, how do we work this list where we can visit them? Well, number one is we're going to work on the easy three. What is the easy three? Everybody has an easy three. These are individuals that you know close enough, that trust you, that love you, you trust them, you love them, where you could walk into their house and really not even knock. I mean, you're like, probably you open the door, and while you're opening the door, you're knocking, hey, I'm here.
I got you.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Somebody close like that, right? So usually I'll ask you your easy three. What I would ask you is, who walked in your wedding? Who was your best man in your wedding?
In my wedding, it was Pastor Phil.
Pastor Phil.
Yes, sir.
Dr. Phil or Pastor Phil? No, I'm just kidding. Pastor Phil, right?
Interesting.
Yeah,
He's actually a doctor.
He's actually a doctor, right? So Pastor Phil, how long have you known him?
A good 10 years.
A good 10 years.
Yeah.
And he walked
More
in
than
your
that.
wedding.
15 years, actually.
Best man. So
Yes.
he was your number one choice over everybody else.
Yes, he was.
So obviously there's a lot of love there. There's a lot of trust there.
Good connections.
You have a wife?
Yes, he does.
He got little kids?
Yes. Boy and girl.
And he works?
Yes.
Okay, so he's going to be the number one person we're going to visit.
Gotcha.
Why? Because of that trust, that relationship,
Okay.
Because even if he doesn't work with us, we want him to know what you're doing, who we are, what we do, because he can recommend you, to everybody he knows.
Gotcha.
So whether he works with us, whether he's a client or not with us, as long as he knows what we do, who we are, how awesome it is, he's going to recommend you.
I got you.
Who else walked in your wedding?
My brother, Jacques.
Your brother, Jacques.
Yes.
How do you write Jacques?
Jacques.
Q-U-E-S. Okay,
Yes.
Jacques. What does he do?
He's an engineer.
Oh, like you.
Yes.
Okay. You have a wife?
Yes.
Little kids?
Yes.
So he works, and obviously you've known him your whole life.
My entire life.
Were you the older brother, the younger brother?
He is older, so
He's
I
the
know
older
him.
brother, so you've really known him your whole life.
Yes.
Okay. Now, he's going to be the next one
Yes.
we visit. Why? He's your brother.
Yeah.
He can't let you have an excuse on why you can't visit. You're like, bro, I'm driving over.
Yeah, correct.
Okay, good. Who else walked in your wedding?
I would say George.
George.
Yes.
How do you write George? Oh, G. George. You mean
Yeah,
George.
I'm
Okay,
sorry,
George.
but-
George.
George.
Okay.
Yeah, George.
So George.
Yes.
And how long have you known George?
Good 15 years also.
15. So a long time.
Yeah, a long time.
And you have a wife?
Yes.
Little kids?
Yes.
Work?
Yes.
Homeowner?
Yes.
Okay, we're going to visit George.
Yes.
Who else walked in your wedding?
I have Mardoche.
Mardoche.
Pastor Mardoche.
You have some unique names, right?
Yeah, they're
How do
French
you
names.
write Oh, they're French names.
Yes,
That's
sir.
right. Okay. So
M-A-R
D-O
D-O-C-H-E-E.
C-H-E-E. Mardoche. Okay, cool. And you have a wife?
Yes, he does.
How long have you known him?
Maybe 20 years at least.
20 years at least.
Yes, 20
You
years.
have little kids?
Yes.
Okay. Look, we just wanted your easy 3. You even let me have one extra one. And we could probably write a much longer list. But for right now, what I want are those closest individuals to you, the ones that want to help you, the ones that you can ring them up and say, listen, I need your help. I'm working at a new place. I need to line up practice presentations. They're not a practice presentation unless it's with husband and wife with little kids.
Okay.
And since you guys are close with me, and I know you love me, I just need an hour. I need 1 hour where you can let me over. Now, if they start pressing you, what is it about? Your answer is, it's about an hour, right? And
Okay.
you know, and then they go, no, really. And then your only answer is, the reason I'm lining these up are training appointments. I don't want to screw it up. I don't want to answer you. I want you to ask all the questions that my trainer Omar.
Okay, gotcha.
Because what new recruits tend to do is they try to explain things. The rule of 89, which doesn't even exist, right? But they're new recruits and they're jacked up and they're pumped up.
I got you.
And they screw it up.
I got you.
Because they view you as an engineer.
Yeah.
They don't view you as this is what you do
This is new
yet.
to me. Gotcha.
This is brand new to you. So your only job is to line up a practice presentation. Now, when I walk in with you, now you're going to let them know that, you know, Omar's the trainer and he's driving with me. But when I walk in, I promise you this, I'm going to let them know right off the bat. This evening, you're not allowed to write me any checks.
Okay.
This evening, there's nothing you can do other than listen, learn, and ask questions.
Gotcha.
The more questions you ask, the more Richard, because you're going to be right next, you know, to me, the more Richard learns. And that you guys are close, you want Richard to learn as much as possible, right or wrong.
Right. I got you.
So now their wall's down because we've let them know we're not closing anything this evening. You can't write me any checks. So they're not worrying about when's the close coming, when is Omar going to drop the hammer on me for this, right? How much is this going to cost? It's going to cost nothing. Now, at the end, if there's any interest in either working with us or winding up clients with us, we'll ask you some questions, which is the F&A stuff, and then we'll line up another appointment. Okay. But we will not pressure them. They're your closest friends. I promise you, I will not humiliate you in any way. I will treat them with respect the way that I've treated you with respect, okay? Now, later on, I do want you to write out a longer list, okay? Right now, this is the only list we're going to worry about, okay? Who of these individuals, remember your easy 3, we listed one extra one, which ones is it you're most closest to? Who's the number 1 closest one?
Beyond my brother, right?
Well, okay, your brother, number 1.
Yeah. Pastor
Who else?
Phil.
Number 2.
Yeah. Mardoche.
And Mardoche. So those are the 3 that I want you to line up right away. Now listen, this is important. When you're working with me, it's not like I'm the boss and you're the employee. We're partners in this thing. You're now an entrepreneur. Okay? And I know that's hard because you're an engineer and you're used to working a job, but I'm not the boss. You cannot listen to me. Okay? But if you don't listen to me, I can't train you.
Gotcha.
Okay? So the way it works is we're a partnership and each one of us needs, you know, to bring value, you know, to that partnership.
Okay.
So the value that I bring is all the knowledge, the know-how, the licensing is free, the weekly training, the office, the admins that work in the office that are there to help you, right?
Okay.
What you bring is you're coachable and you're credible.
Okay.
Right now, that's really all you bring. Now, eventually, once you're trained and you're licensed, you'll be more valuable.
So what does that mean? Coachable?
Well, Coachable means that you're going to listen to me.
Okay.
You're not going to try to recreate the wheel.
Gotcha.
Like when I ask you to line up number 1, number 2, number 3, I don't want you to say, I lined up this appointment with Robert. I'm like, Robert's not even on our list.
Okay, okay.
So I need you to be coachable, number 1, and credible. What's credible mean? Well, credible means if you can line these up, you're credible.
Gotcha.
Because they're your closest friends. If you're not able to line up your brother and your best man and your other buddy that you know for 20 plus years, I would have to question whether you're credible or not. Wouldn't you agree with me?
Yeah, I understand.
So I need you to be credible, coachable. Now, later, I want you with your wife to write out a list, a wedding list. So like at your wedding, how many were at your wedding? Approximately, roundabout.
About 300.
300. So you had a humongous wedding, right?
Yeah.
What'd that run you, by the way? No, I'm just kidding. So 300 people. So what I want y'all to do is when you invite that many, it's usually like this. Well, you have to invite Uncle Joe, because if you don't invite Uncle Joe, then Aunt Louise is angry at you.
Yeah.
And you didn't really want everybody there, but you did it, right or wrong?
Yes.
So what I want you to do later with your wife is I want you to write a top 20 wedding list. As if you and your wife were going to renew your wedding vows. You're going to lay out all the money for everybody to fly in. Who are the top 20 individuals you really want at your wedding?
Okay.
You know, the ones that really matter.
Gotcha.
Right? And then the reason is, and this is critical, this is what I need you to really grasp. We're going to visit them eventually. Now, right now, we're going to visit your easy 3. We're going to knock those out, 1, 2, 3. But after that, we're going to visit your top 20.
Okay.
Because remember what I told you. On these presentations, you're going to learn presentation, handling objections, closing questions, F&A, product, how to close, how to recruit the client, how to train the recruit.
Okay.
And the more we do this, the more you make. Long run, right?
Gotcha.
So here's what I know. If we visited 20 of your top wedding list, you're going to be well trained. You're going to be amazingly trained. You're going to know almost everything you need to know where you could grow a whole organization. But what's most critical is we're going to recruit 1 out of every 4. How do you know that? Yeah. Well, because I've been working here for a long time. Now, it's not exactly you recruit 1 out of every 4. It's average. Out of 20, you're going to probably average between 4 to 5 new recruits.
Okay.
So let's just use the average of 1 out of every 4. So if we went on 20 appointments, we're going to recruit how many?
5.
Yeah, you're an engineer. You could work that out, right? So, so that leads you now to this number of recruits, right? So, so these 20 appointments not only train you, but now you have new recruits.
Gotcha.
Guess what we're going to do with those recruits?
What?
We're going to work on their easy 3, just like I did with you, and then their wedding list, top 20 wedding list. Now their easy 3 are included in their top 20, right?
Of course.
So now 5 recruits multiplied by 20 names each. Now you got 100 individuals that you could visit that are all in the warm market, right? They're not strangers. We're not knocking on doors. We're not going, hi, you don't know me. That doesn't work here. This is a warm market business, like a doctor. Who's your doctor?
Doctor?
Yeah. Okay, let me ask you another question. Who's your...
I know my pediatrician.
Who does your income taxes?
Mr. Phil.
Mr. Phil. How did you get Mr. Phil?
I actually learned about him from a sister church of us.
A referral.
That's correct.
A warm market referral.
Yes.
So you trusted the referral, so you went to him, and now he does your income taxes, right?
Yes.
That's the way that works.
I got you.
If that guy would have knocked on your door and said, hi, you don't know me, but I do income taxes, would you have trusted him with your income taxes?
No, that wouldn't work.
Right, so there's a lot of industries where you could use flyers and all that kind of stuff, but not our industry. Our industry is word of mouth. That's the way they want you. So
That makes sense.
it makes sense, right? So if we went on your top 20, we're going to recruit 1 out of every 4.
Yeah,
How many recruits is that?
That's 5.
Multiply with their top 20 list. Now you got 100 names. Now you're out on 100 appointments. You're going to recruit 1 out of every what?
1 out of 4.
So now that's how many new recruits?
25.
25 new recruits at 20 names on each list. Now, how many names do you have?
500.
500. Do you get that if your list is garbage, meaning you don't really write
That's
your
correct.
closest people that you trust and that,
That's correct.
garbage in,
Garbage out.
garbage out. That's an engineering, right? So,
makes sense.
but if you work on your list and it's a good list where there's individuals there that like you and trust you, we go visit them. Not only you learn the business, but we're going to multiply the business because we're going to recruit on average 1 out of every 4. We do that, it snowballs, and over time, you can actually grow a business while you're working your job still, and then eventually maybe replace your income where you could leap.
Correct.
You could leap into, really running your own office one day, but it all starts with your easy 3. Okay,
I like that.
so we have scripts.
Okay.
But we don't need scripts with your easy 3. We'll work on that later. Your easy, like if you use a script with these guys and you ring up your brother, hello, Jock, wait for answer. This is Richard. I am working at a new, he'd be like, bro, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that's true.
So you just need to reach out, to your brother
Be real.
and your closest friends, real. Say, listen, I'm working at a new place. I need your help. I need to line up practice presentations. I need to line them up this week.
Okay. Urgency.
Okay, urgency. Now, if they start hemming and hawing, well, this week's not good, then you say, this is very, very, very important to me.
Okay.
And if it wasn't important, I wouldn't ask you.
Gotcha.
We're going to drive to your house. We're going to work around your schedule. I just need these this week.
Gotcha.
That lets me know a lot about you.
Okay.
Meaning,
Credibility.
if you can't line up these guys and it's your brother and your closest friends in a week to see 3 appointments, they're only like 1 hour each, I got to question Richard. Wouldn't you agree?
I understand. That makes sense.
You line it up, though, now I'm all in. Richard's credible. He listened to me. He lined him up. Now I'm going to work like crazy with you to really help you grow a business.
I got you.
And then we'll work on the rest of your list later. But for right now, we're going to line up Jock. We're going to line up who?
Pastor Phil? Yep.
Pastor Phil. And we're going to line
Mardo
up Mardo Shea.
Correct.
They're all married. You've known them forever.
Yep.
They got wives. They got little kids. They got jobs. They're going to be happy to help you.
Correct.
Any questions at all you have?
No, so far so good.
So next week we run training on what night?
Tuesday night.
Tuesday night. Good
7:30.
memory, right? So we're going to line up appointments on Monday night and Wednesday night. That's what I want you to work on this evening. I want you to line up Monday and Wednesday.
Okay.
Hopefully, now I need like an hour and a half each because it's like 1 hour and then we'll have to drive from one house to the other house. So line them up in an hour and a half increments.
Okay.
If you could line up the other one, if you could line up George as well,
Yep.
and we could line up that many of them one night and that many the other night, 2 and 2, that'd be 4, because this is critical. You really want to learn this. So what if you did all those in 1 week versus one this month, and one the month after, and one the month after that, and one the month after that? Who's going to learn it more? The one that works them all in a week or the one that stretches it out over 90 days?
Compressed time.
That's what I want to do with you.
Gotcha.
Any questions on that?
No.
All right, bro.
Ready.
I'm ready to train you.
I appreciate it.
All right.
May I keep this?
That's yours.
Thank you very much.